Have you noticed something just off lately? Millions of us are earning more money than ever before, but instead of kicking back and feeling secure, we're stressed, we're constantly behind, and honestly, we feel completely financially trapped. So in this explainer, we're going to dive into a massive modern mystery. We're going to track exactly where all that money is vanishing to and answer the burning question of why modern life feels so much harder than it actually should, no matter how hard you're working.
We really need to start by just validating exactly what you're experiencing right now. Because look, you aren't crazy. Even with better jobs, higher salaries, and all this incredible new tech in our pockets, life just feels heavier. Trying to save money, it feels almost impossible right now. For a lot of us, just a routine grocery run can trigger genuine panic. It's this question echoing in households literally everywhere. Why do I feel so broke? Well, to figure that out, we have to peel back the layers of our modern economy.
So let's look at layer 1, the higher income illusion.
Now, most of us focus entirely on our top-line income, right? We just assume a bigger number automatically means we're wealthier. But let's look at what I like to call the illusion of a growing paycheck. Just imagine you were making 50 grand 5 years ago. Today, you've hustled, you got that promotion, and now you're bringing in 70 grand. On the surface, that sounds absolutely amazing. But what actually happens when your rent doubles, what happens when your grocery bill spikes, and your healthcare costs absolutely skyrocket? Suddenly, inflation just comes in and eats that entire 20 grand difference. The crucial takeaway here is that you might be making 20 grand more today, which makes you richer on paper, but you're actually poorer in real life.
Which brings us right into layer 2, the invisible spending trap.
So, lifestyle inflation is a trap, and it happens in 3 super stealthy steps. Step 1, your income goes up. You get a raise, and naturally, you feel pretty great about it. But then comes step 2. Slowly and almost completely invisibly, you just start upgrading your life. You grab the newer phone, maybe move to a slightly nicer apartment, lease a better car, or take a slightly flashier vacation. I mean, you're making more, so you deserve it, right? But then we hit step 3. Your savings stay exactly at 0. Your income bumped up, but your safety net didn't. It's a totally self-sabotaging cycle, and it's exactly why we're seeing so many high earners today living completely paycheck to paycheck.
And that flows directly into layer 3, the subscription economy. Look, modern life has essentially mutated into one giant, continuous monthly payment. Think about it. You've got Netflix, Spotify, cloud storage for your photos, maybe some new AI tools, the gym membership, software subscriptions. The list goes on. Now, individually, each of these looks harmless. $10 here, $15 there, but when you stack them up, the total is absolutely massive. Actually, studies show the average person underestimates their monthly subscription costs by literally hundreds of dollars. These companies realize something brilliant, but totally dangerous for your wallet. It is vastly easier to slowly bleed small amounts of money from you forever than to ask for one large lump sum upfront. You're facing a literal death by 1,000 cuts.
Moving right along to layer 4, the cost of convenience.
Every day, we're making this trade-off. Now, convenience undeniably saves us time. We've got food delivery right to the couch, ride-sharing at the tap of a button, instant shopping, one-click buying. Modern life is perfectly optimized for your absolute comfort. But here is the brutal reality. Convenience costs money. All of that incredible, frictionless comfort is highly expensive. You're basically paying a massive premium directly out of your bank account just to remove a little bit of friction from your day.
Next up is layer 5, the social media pressure. Previous generations just compared themselves to their neighbors. If the guy next door bought a shiny new lawnmower, okay, maybe you wanted one too. But today, we're comparing ourselves to millions of people online all at once. Every single day, we're bombarded with curated images of luxury vacations, pristine cars, and designer lifestyles. And here's the kicker. Even if half those lifestyles are completely fake or funded by debt, the psychological impact on you is very real. It tricks our brains into spending way more money just to keep up with the total illusion.
Then we hit layer 6, the heavy housing burden. Let's be honest, housing has become the single largest financial hurdle for the modern worker. Massive rent payments are just actively devouring a huge slice of your income. And for those trying to actually buy a place, mortgage payments have completely exploded. The distant dream of homeownership isn't just a side goal anymore, it's this massive pressure cooker that affects literally every other financial decision you make. When keeping a roof over your head takes up this much of the pie, there is barely anything left over to build actual wealth.
Which leads us to layer 7, the new wealth divide. Now, this is the deepest layer of our explainer today, and it exposes the real dividing line between the struggling and the truly wealthy in 2026. The new wealth gap, honestly, isn't about who works harder. It's really not.
It is strictly about ownership. On one side, you have people who depend entirely on their wages and salaries. But on the other side, you have people who own assets, businesses, stocks, real estate. So why does this matter so much? Because, as all the data clearly shows, assets simply grow much, much faster than salaries ever will. If you're only armed with a salary, you are fighting a losing battle against the raw math of the modern economy.
Okay, so it's time for the big reveal. The reason you feel broke isn't because you suddenly woke up one morning and decided to be financially irresponsible. You're broke because of simultaneous, crushing pressures hitting you all at the exact same time. Pressure one is inflation and stagnant purchasing power. Your money just flat out doesn't buy what it used to.
Then, piling right on top of that is pressure two, housing and mounting debt. You're fighting the overwhelming, exploded costs of simply keeping a roof over your head, all while juggling rising debt just to bridge the gap every month.
And finally, pressure 3 is the daily psychological grind. You're suffering that death by 1,000 cuts from the subscription economy, the slow, sneaky creep of lifestyle inflation, and that intense social comparison making you feel like you are just constantly falling behind. It is a perfect storm.
Which you absolutely must take away from this explainer is a pretty harsh reality. Modern life isn't just expensive by accident. It is actively designed to constantly compete for your money. It's a system highly optimized to extract your wealth. Now, the people who understand this reality early on, they're the ones who stop playing the spending game and start building assets. The rest, unfortunately, remain trapped in the cycle.
Which leaves us with this final haunting question. Until we recognize these hidden traps, the sneaky subscriptions, the lifestyle inflation, the total illusion of the higher paycheck, we're going to spend years wondering, if I'm making more money, why does life still feel so much harder? It's time to recognize the system for what it is, stop blaming yourself, and start changing exactly how you play the game. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really encourage you to take a hard look at your own life and ask which of these pressures is draining your wallet the most right now.